All right. Hi, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. The topic, freedom from the past, is one of my most favorite topics. And I'm not here to give you just a lecture. I want to tell you that, like you, even I had a past. And I'll talk about my past a little later. So do we all. And we have a choice. We have a choice of being careful about the baggage that we choose from the past. And we have a choice to carry all the baggage, and especially the unwanted baggage of the past. It's not that everyone has very easy and very smooth life. It's not that everyone has the life of their choice all the time. A lot of us have gone through major traumas. And not everybody has suffered. Not everybody goes through a lot of trouble. And there are people who go through a major setback, go into depression, and even end their lives. So, what is the difference between people who succumb to their past and people who survive and eventually thrive? The main difference is their ability to be selective about what they take it up from the past. Yes, we all are the products of the past. I'm saying the past because once upon a time, according to Darwin, we were apes. And we've evolved. Our DNA carries that history. We carry people's beliefs, their experiences, their emotions, all that our ancestors have gone through. We have that as a record in our DNA. We are made up of our past. It's just a matter of choice. What do you want to take it forward? Do you want to keep harping on the problems and pains of the past? Or do you want to take the best out of the past and make your life a better life? That choice is entirely yours, and nobody else can choose that for you. So let's embark on a journey of reclaiming the freedom from the past. I'm going to present to you the presentation so that I don't miss out a point. I mean, it's rare that I use presentations, but thanks to Pooja, she helped me out with the last moment presentation. So let's do this time with presentation so that we kind of take this topic correctly. All right. So awaken the joy of living in the now and living a wholesome and complete life. Why should we work upon our past? And why should we even claim to have the freedom from the past? Basically, the ability to be in the now. If you realize absolutely this moment, this very moment, we have no trouble, no problem at all whatsoever. Just no problem. Okay, we could be fine in the given moment, in that millisecond, in that second, we're fine. What troubles us is the unhealed stories of the past and the future troubles. In the sense, the worry about the future. What would happen tomorrow? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this doesn't work out? What if so-and-so says so-and-so? Now, those concerns and worries are mainly because of the unhealed stories of the past and carried forward beliefs from the past. So, if you can just drop this past stories and the future stories, you can be in the given moment 100%. And that's a very, very blissful moment. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that sometimes in your life. And let's live life moment to moment in such a beautiful way that you're 100% present in the now so that you can do a justice to life in the greatest possible way so that you have no regret or no guilt carried forward from this moment to the future. Have you ever come across some people, you're talking with them, but they're constantly referring to the past or worried about future? You'll hardly find them available in the given moment. And what is it to converse with them? You hardly get just a part of them. And on the other hand, some people who are 100% present, who can attend to you. When they are speaking, you feel like listening to them. And when you're talking, you feel 100% listened to and attended to. You're not scattered here and there. I'm talking about those kind of personalities, and you can be one. Perhaps you are one, and you need to just refine it more. And if you're not, it's totally possible to be in the now. And there are many more benefits. So let's explore them one at a time. Okay. So let's talk about the philosophy. Right. Once we understand the philosophy, then we can take it forward from here. Just stay tuned because this philosophy, whether you attend the main class or not, is going to be helpful to you anyway. So it is not what happened in the past, but the emotions attached to them, which can slow you down and make life a big burden to deal with. Have you ever traveled in the overloaded car? Have you ever traveled with 30, 40 kgs backpack? Oh, you know what is it, right? How painful it is. What do you think? You're carrying so much of baggage from the past. Are you sure you're not slowing down in your life? If you want to maintain the pace, if you want to enjoy your ride, if you want to enjoy the journey called life, don't you think it is important to just let go of all that is not needed anymore? Right? Well, while you cannot change what happened in the past, you can certainly change the way you look at the past and the way you redesign your future life. The past has happened. You cannot change. You cannot undo. You were born on a particular day to a particular set of parents in a particular place under particular circumstances. How can you change that? Certain things have happened in your life, your schooling, your education, your social scenario, your milestones, certain humiliations, certain hurt, certain separations, betrayals, cheating, hurt, all that has happened. You can't change. But what you could change is the way you look at them, the way you let yourself get affected by them, the way you perceive. If you want to redesign your future life, you've got to really relook at the past from different perspective. Once you heal your adverse emotions related to your past, you can easily understand the relevance and importance of every incident, every character who played their role with neutral detachment and greater insights. When you're unhealed, you often live with a victim mindset, thinking that I suffered because of so and so, because of certain circumstances, because of adversities around. However, when you start healing, when the clouds of emotions disperse, you start seeing things with clarity. And also, you raise your consciousness so you can see it in a better way. And then you really come to an inner conclusion. I'm not talking about just the logical make believe forced upon uh, belief that everything happens for good. This is what our ancestors said, education said, society said, but are you really feeling it that way? No. When you really heal and when you see the relevance, when you see the whole story, eventually you realize from within that perhaps what happened really happened for greater good. It had to happen this way for me to be the way I am today. I remember there was a good friend of mine, and I didn't want to take a session for her because very dear friend and very close friend. I referred her to one of the mentors, and she said, oh my God, she was talking about past, and I don't want to talk about past. So I stopped taking further sessions. I wanted to explain to her that if you really don't want to think about the past, resolve your past. That's the only way you will not be thinking about the past. You may bury the story deep down. You may forget about it. Do you know our mind is very smart, can repress certain memories? There are people who have forgotten the incident of being raped or molested. It's only when they start healing, the memories start coming up because now the subconscious mind knows that you can deal with it. You're capable of it. So heal your past if you don't want to repeat your past. Otherwise, the patterns will keep repeating. I know a person, he never cried. He never had a problem. He was a kind of a tough guy. And the pet died. That pet was very dear pet and he was very attached. And when the pet died, he realized that all the deaths he had experienced and witnessed were all unhealed. Those tears were deep within and never came out. He suppressed it so badly. So it's not that he had not got affected by the past, but all the feelings were repressed, only to be pushed out at odd times. Sometimes when things repeat, they give us the chance to relook at the past and reverse the pattern. However, we don't take this as a challenge, and we often suppress the feelings once again. Take this as a challenge. Don't let things repeat. And if you don't need to repeat, you don't want to repeat, resolve your past. So what kind of techniques are we using? You might be wondering, how do we do that? Of course, we are going to use radical statements, multi-chakra knowledge, and several other related techniques. They're all mind management technique. The best part of this is there's something you're going to do for yourself. So these are not therapies. These are not healing sessions. Nobody's going to heal for you because you can do that for yourself and you're totally capable of doing. We're going to be there. We're going to create that space. We're going to hold your hands and we're going to make it very easy and safe and very, very effective for you, as if it's like kind of a surgery under anesthesia. A lot of wounds can be easily healed in relatively painless and pain-free manner. So we're going to use a combination of soul metaplay with inner child healing. It's like we're going to do sort of role play simulation to heal, to recreate the past stories so that you can be fully present to what had happened, recognize different facets, and then heal with ease, being a distanced observer. We're also going to use some of the journaling techniques, which I'm going to teach you how to do it. We're going to challenge the borrowed beliefs. One of the major facets of the past that you need to heal is the borrowed beliefs. If your parents, your teachers, your siblings have said you're a shy person, or you're a useless person, or you're a horrible person, or you're a shameless person, or you are a black sheep in the family, oh God, you're going to live up to it, right? How about just letting go of those beliefs because they're like kind of outer coverings? You don't even need it. You don't have to keep getting into the jackets others have given you to wear. Rediscover yourself, which is beyond all the beliefs that you've been carrying from others. Address your inner void with metaphor techniques. So there are a few techniques that we're going to use. There's such a deep void sometimes that gets left behind when you lose some relationships, certain valuable experiences, reputation, loved ones, love of your life. You feel empty from within, and we're going to learn to feel complete, because if you have the void, you may fill up with energies, thoughts, beliefs, and experiences which may not be yours totally. We're going to reverse some of those adverse behavioral patterns with radical reprogramming. So who can join? Everyone who is stuck in their past relationship and unable to move on and move forward. Anyone who is unable to enjoy the current moment due to their unhealed past. Anyone who wishes to heal from their tendency to be burdened by childhood suffering and trauma. People suffering from shame, guilt, hurt, and attachment. People who are bound by adverse beliefs and conditioning. People who are going through a lot of suffering due to heavy karmic baggage. People who have difficulty in sustaining relationships. People who feel easily triggered by seemingly trivial incidents. I remember I was just traveling in the local transport, and somebody said, "Tu pagal hai kya?" And a woman reacted so badly. Pagal hai, crazy, all these words we use just casually. And she yelled and shouted and asked the conductor to stop the bus and wanted to fight it out for over one thing. How dare she calls me pagal? Now that is unhealed past where she was called pagal in a very unpleasant way. And that word pagal triggered her very badly. Many of us have those trigger points due to unhealed past. Recognize, release, and rise beyond them so that you and others do not get caught unaware and we don't spoil the whole beautiful moments of the future. People who often wall up and keep distance from others. A lot of people who are seemingly introvert, who often keep it to themselves, don't meet people, don't socialize much, be very selective with friends, are often hiding a lot along with themselves. So they hide their emotions, their feelings, their beliefs, their thoughts, their past, and remain to themselves. And there are extroverts who pretend to be very friendly, very social, and yet hiding a lot within themselves. So both extremes could also be needing a thorough cleansing of the past. People with a pattern of repeated rejection, the belief that gets generated by past rejection rules your life, and you often invite repeated rejections. People who have deep-seated resentment and animosity towards others who hurt them in the past. You just can't patch up, you can't talk to them, you can't connect with them, you can't see eye to eye, you avoid them. You harbor such horrible feelings towards them. You often damage yourself or keep scheming the plots to damage them. You waste so much of time feeling totally unrest and deep disgust or resentment. Things happened in the past, it may not happen again, but if you keep thinking about them, you're reinforcing your belief about them, and you leave them with no choice but to repeat what happened in the past. It's time to forgive, ease your emotional baggage, dissociate emotions and beliefs from those people, and give people another chance to play the game in a fair way. People who are anxious about past repeating once again, that is because of the unresolved past. Once you resolve, you may not worry about the repeat of the past. People, okay, dealing with our, so what are we going to teach? So we're going to have it over 8 weeks. And the topics for 8 weeks are dealing with our past overwhelming burdens, right? Healing the traumas of the past, healing our childhood rejection, abuse, pain, traumas, inability to live in the present moment, dissociate our past from our present lives by healing the past, addressing the beliefs we formed due to our traumatic past, fears associated with the past, and integrating our shattered and scattered selves. Mark the date. The program starts on 17th of December, 8 Sundays, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We'll have a 30 minutes buffer time because it may get spilled over from 6 to 7:30. We're going to meet on Zoom. And what are the extra benefits? We have senior mentors available on Zoom rooms 5 days a week. You can always hop in and take their help and guidance and support from them. You also have guidance from senior mentors and the community, and an opportunity to heal yourself. So these are the times when you can just hop into the Zoom room daily, except Wednesdays and Sundays, and also work on yourself under the guidance of senior mentors, and also work on each other. Okay. You will be able to apply all that you've learned online classes and help yourself with the help of expert mentors. These are not just theories. You're going to work on yourself. I'm not just going to say point A, point B, point C, do this, do this, do this. I'm going to make sure that you apply it. and bring a major difference in your life. You will be able to clear your doubts and build confidence in the application of techniques, theory, and philosophy. If you're already a healer and a practitioner, a part of it can also be mixed and matched with whatever you're doing. Some of the concepts are going to be helpful if you're helping others as well. You will have a platform to address and resolve all concerns and queries and issues in a non-judgmental, caring, and nurturing space. You can be rest assured that will create a space which is non-judgmental, where you'll be able to open up and be yourself. You'll feel that nurturing and caring. And of course, we do maintain privacy. We don't put it up out there on YouTube. The recordings are some of the recordings, the classroom recordings might be available in the um, we're on the website for future reference and for the people who may not be able to attend. Okay. However, we do not share this or we do not openly talk about. And also the work that you do in the open house is going to be completely private and completely confidential. So we'll assure a maximum confidentiality, non-judgmentality, and ease. I'm sure by now you've definitely got convinced that it's a time to rise beyond your past, an opportunity to move on and move forward and let your life be different. If there is any question, if there is any doubt, I'll be happy to answer right away. Let me check it.
Can we please revise the techniques again?
Okay. Is there a particular technique that you kind of want to refer to or something?
No, I just want to again know the
Okay.
techniques. That's it.
एक second, I'll tell you. Okay, so what we're going to do is a combination of soul metaplay with inner child healing, daily completions of incompletions through journaling, challenging powerful beliefs with mirror techniques. It's all there on the website. Addressing inner void with metaphor techniques. Then reverse the adverse behavioral patterns with radical reprogramming. These are the techniques we're going to use. Some of them you've never done. I've never taught this.
Yeah, the fifth one I didn't understand actually.
Yeah, so when you do it, you know it. It's difficult.
Okay. Thank you. So, yeah, got it.
Yeah, the idea of conducting this masterclass is to stress upon the need for healing the past. Okay.
Yeah.
And how important it is. So I'll tell you. So let me tell you that today you might see me quite peaceful, calm. However, I can tell you that, this is a public forum, and yet I'm saying that I've had my share of humiliations, disappointments, rejections, abuse, molestations, you name it. I've been, through separations and divorce and living alone and stories to a point where there was a phase where I used to constantly think about suicide. I've even lethally attempted suicide. I've had failures in life. I've had setbacks in life. And everything seemingly adverse stories have only helped me rebuild my life, be a better person, be a more evolved person. And the day I realized that I went through all this because I needed to learn to be compassionate towards people who are going through what they're going through. The day I understood and aligned to be a compassionate facilitator, my life started easing out. So, eventual exercise is about rediscovering the purpose of your life, because all seeming adverse stories are taking you somewhere. In the moment you align to the purpose, things start easing out. And that's what I invite you to unravel for you. And it's totally possible with little effort, little work, and little support. At that time, we did not have such sophisticated techniques. I used to spend hours trying to heal. A lot of techniques have evolved through my self-healing. And today, now it's a group work. It's a beautiful platform where you can rediscover yourself beyond the stories of the past. Let stories be stories, and you can certainly heal yourself. Let me give you an example, an eye-opening example. So some years back, I remember I was taking a very intense, in-depth workshop, and a woman around 35 mentioned, I was just giving an example of what is it to be healed from the past. And she shared that when I was young, we were living in a joint family, and one of my uncles have repeatedly raped me. I've grown much beyond all that. Today, I can sit on the same dining table next to my uncle and have a meal without getting emotionally charged. I'm talking about that kind of healing. And it's totally possible if you open up to. So there are a few messages. Let me just read them. Yeah, Pooja's already put the link and everything. So there is a link given. You can use it. Otherwise, go to www.isolve.com and you'll find it in the event section. It's 8-week, 8 sessions, over and above a lot of support that you will get, right? And to help you make up your mind, we're going to give you one-time discount for next 24 hours and make the best out of it. So you can just grab this opportunity and register it right now so that we meet on 17th December. Any other question? Okay, since there are no questions, I'll give you an experience of the past, okay? I'm going to use a technique called transform and transcend, and let's see how easily you can ease the emotional charge. So think of one unpleasant event of the past, right? Anyone, right? And just assess what is the emotional charge, right? On a scale of 0 to 10. Whatever it is, could be 5, it could be 8, it could be 10. And now we're going to try level 0 technique. Very simple. And that is just recite, I transform and transcend my feeling towards the past. Make sure that you're thinking of just one incident. whatever it is, and just say, I transform and transcend my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend the reasons for my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend the reasons for my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend the reasons for my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend the reasons for my feelings towards the past. I transform and transcend my brilliance embedded in the past. I transform and transcend my brilliance embedded in the past. I transform and transcend the brilliance embedded in the past. I transform and transcend the brilliance embedded in the past. I transform and transcend my 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 past. I transform and transcend myself. I transform and transcend myself. I transform and transcend myself. Remember, the impact of the past is energetic in nature. Energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transformed. So, if you found your past adverse, you can always have an opportunity to transform and transcend so that you rise beyond, raise your consciousness, and look at it differently. Grab the brilliance from your past and redesign your future. Thank you. Have a brilliant day ahead.